What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Now, there has been a growing consensus that fact checkers have been misleading people, especially those people who follow right-wing commentators, and a lot of them have been complaining about this particular situation. Candace Owens and Liz Wheeler, but to mention a few, have aired their grievances at Facebook and Facebook fact checkers, and Candace Owens actually took them to court and won a couple of weeks ago. So in light of this, I thought we'd put this to the test in what I call fact-checking the fact checkers. You see, these fact checkers, they can make you or break you, whether you're an influencer or somebody who is up and coming. One thing that can make or break you as a person in this world is your integrity. If people do not trust in you, people will definitely not follow you. And even in job or work wise, people will not follow you. So right now, when it comes to social media, a lot of right wingers and a lot of conservatives are being censored. So today, let's play that little game called fact checkers. And in order for us to do this, we will be taking a look at two people who are aggrieved by Joe Biden's unity speech. Funny how he gave a unity speech that alienated or demonized half of the country. So we will be taking a look at that unity speech that he made after the Capitol was breached, what he said, and what these people who were fact-checked said, and why they were branded as false. We will also be fact-checking the fact-checkers as well. This is quite some process. We will be fact-checking the fact-checkers as well to actually figure out whether they truly were fact-checking these people or whether they are trying to mislead anybody who is listening to these two people. Now, the two people in question will be Micheal Lynch, who happens to be an editor for a news app called DLN News App. Also, we will be checking out somebody else who was aggrieved in the name of Ryan Reynolds. Now, I know a lot of you might be wondering, Ryan Reynolds, what is he doing? What is he doing poking his nose into American politics? But it is not the same Ryan Reynolds. I suppose USA Today just added this guy into their article just to kind of like clickbait or what have you. So we will be looking at what they had to say. But first off, we will look at what Joe Biden said that aggrieved a lot of people, half of the country, I suppose. And then we will look at what these people had to say and then fact check the fact checkers themselves. Quite a process. But before we do all that, I want to make a quick suggestion to you guys to help me out by hitting that like button. And also, if you're new, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Now, without further ado, let's jump straight into things. Now, during Joe Biden's unity speech, Joe Biden said this: "They weren't protesters. Don't dare call them protesters." Biden said in a remark from Wilmington, Delaware on Thursday. "They were a riotous mob, insurrectionists, domestic terrorists. It's that basic. It's that simple." Now, who exactly was Joe Biden talking about? Because he was very specific. He later on in that statement said this: "For hours, loyalists of the president roamed the halls of Congress as law enforcement struggled to respond. Some waved Trump flags, others carried Confederate flags. They broke windows and trampled through the Senate chamber." Now, this has aggrieved a lot of people because he referred to them as Trump supporters and he called them by name, saying what they carried, and he was describing very, very much in detail how these things happened. Now, the reason why this has aggrieved a lot of people was that over the summer, BLM rioters were actually conducting violence across America, burning down buildings, cities, and also leading to the death of 24 people. So during that whole period of time, people from the right wing were feeling that Biden was silent in this situation. So in that sense, do they have the right to be angry? And were they speaking the truth when they said Biden was silent towards BLM and Antifa? Like literally in this case, remember, he actually called out Trump supporters. But in that case, did he call out BLM? Well, let's see what these guys had to say and how fact checkers actually responded to them, because the comments that they made was branded as false. So Ryan Reynolds went on and said this: "Funny watching Biden condemn the today's violence after he stood by silently for months after Antifa burned down city after city to the ground." Now, this particular statement was branded as false and it was fact-checked by USA Today. Also, Micheal Lynch kind of like reiterated what he was saying, but in a more explanatory way, because that guy is just some neutral guy, just some everyday guy minding his own business, but airing his opinion. Micheal Lynch happens to be an editor, so he actually framed the words a bit more and let it rip into Joe Biden. So this is what Micheal Lynch had to say. Joe Biden gets on TV and riffs into DC protesters as a whole. He doesn't point out just the few that took things too far. I wonder why Joe Biden didn't call for BLM and Antifa to stop burning down cities, looting stores, hurting innocent people, and attacking the police. and this particular statement was flagged as false. Now, let's find out what USA Today had to say. So somebody from USA Today, kind of like fact-checked them, a person named Camille Kadira, and this is what she had to say. She said, Biden consistently condemned instances of violence, protest, including BLM and Antifa. Now, Biden condemned instances of violence, protest, but that's not the argument here. The argument is, did he call them out, the perpetrators? Well, let's go into details. So she went on to say, here are 5 statements to this effect last summer. 1. On May 29th, he told people that they have the right to be, in fact, angry and frustrated. And more violence, hurting more people isn't going to answer the question. So that was him actually making a statement. Let me know if you notice a pattern here. Second time, on May the 31st, he wrote in a statement on a medium that protesting police brutality is right and necessary, an utterly American response, but burning down communities and needless destructions is not. Biden wrote, violence that endangers lives is not. Violence that guts and shutters businesses that serve the community is not. Are you noticing a pattern here? I will tell you after I read all 5. On June the 2nd, in a speech in Philadelphia, recorded by ABC News, Biden said there is no place for violence, no place for looting or destroying properties or burning churches or destroying businesses. We need to distinguish between legitimate peaceful protest and opportunistic violence destructions, he said. The 4th time he would do this would be on July 28th, in a speech in Wilmington, Delaware. He echoed the sentiments per C-SPAN. Peaceful protesters should be protected, but arsonists and anarchists should be persecuted, and local law enforcement can do that, he said. All right. The last time was this. On August 31st, after a man was fatally shot in Portland, Oregon, Biden released a statement on his campaign website with another condemnation of protest-related violence. Quote, the deadly violence we saw overnight in Portland is unacceptable, he said. Shooting in the streets of a great American city is unacceptable. I condemn this violence unequivocally. I condemn violence of every kind by anyone, whether on the left or on the right, and I challenge Donald Trump to do the same. Now, he was challenging Donald Trump just simply to give the optics that Donald Trump has never condemned violence from the right. Whereas in reality, Donald Trump had condemned violence from the right, from the left, mentioned people by name, whether BLM, Antifa, or whether it be Proud Boys, whoever violence, white supremacists, he's mentioned them, but he was trying kind of like pushing this optic towards his own people or people who tend to want to listen to him, that Trump hasn't done such a thing. But that was false, and he wasn't fact-checked, by the way. So I haven't seen all this. Notice any patterns here? Did you notice he never called out BLM and Antifa? And this is what was pissing off most of the people that were complaining about his so-called unity speech, which has ended up aggravating more people than actually uniting people in America. Now, when it comes to Joe Biden, I am mad at the brother because he was doing what is politically expedient for him, and it was totally beneficial for him, as right now he is the president of America, like it or not. But what I am mad at are these fact checkers who are actually twisting people's word to actually mislead people who are looking for true information so that they can come to their own conclusion. Now, one article shows that study finds that fact checkers PolitiFact, FactCheck.org, and Washington Post fact checkers overwhelmingly agree on their evaluations of claim. That means they all agree to whatever it is that they're saying. However, a study by Morgan Marietta, David C. Baker, and Todd Bowser found substantial differences in the questions asked and the answers offered, just as I've proven here by fact-checking the fact-checkers, right? They concluded that this limited the usefulness of fact-checking for citizens trying to decide which versions of disputed realities to believe. A paper by Chloe Lim, PhD students at Stanford University found little overlapping in the statements that fact checkers checked. You know, going on to say the same thing, that fact checkers don't actually really truly fact check people. Out of 1,065 fact checks by PolitiFact and 240 fact checks by Washington Post fact checker, there were only 70 statements that both fact checkers checked. So we can see that from this study and from what I've showed you, fact checkers aren't truly fact checking people. 70 out of 1,003 statements made were the only true fact checking. The rest of them were twisted and misleading. So can we trust fact checkers? Hell no. We definitely cannot. Anyways, you guys, this is what I think about fact checkers. And I'm also curious about something that has happened strangely on the internet. I was Googling Antifa.com the other day to find out where their website is. And remember, Joe Biden said that Antifa was an idea when it was prompted by Trump during the debate. But when you Google Antifa.com, something else pops up. And what is that? Joe Biden's website for the whitehouse.gov. And this is something strange and something weird, and maybe it is a practical joke. You could do it right now in real time and find out, and let me know in the comment section below. It is highly weird to me, but it could be a practical joke like I said before. And I don't know. Let me know if you're some experts over there that, know more about the internet and how it works than I do. And so that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do not forget to smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Remember, we are seriously in unprecedented times, and always do your research whenever you get information from anybody, whether the left or the right. People like Candace Owens, Liz Wheeler, in as much as I watch them, I don't agree with every one of their sentiments. And there are left-wingers or people like Congresswoman and Tulsi Gabbard that I seem to agree with a lot of things that she says. And she is a Democrat and a left-winger. But it doesn't matter who you are, whether left or right. What matters is, are you speaking the truth? Not the truth like Kamala Harris would say, speak truth. I'm talking about the real truth, not my truth, not your truth like the left wingers would say, but the real truth. Now, until the next time that I catch you, remember what I always say. Please think critically, please be objective, and always look after yourself. Take care, and from here it's peace and Sire's out. Catch you guys on the next one.